name is Angie Morenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's May Favory. I don't know why I always have to do a thing when I say May Favory. My favorite things. And one of my favorite things is movies. Oh, I love movies. I can really overdo it. But before I want my guest to introduce herself, but let me read her profile because her profile is rather amazing. So this is Matrid Nyagah. Do you want to say hi?
Hi guys.
She's a mentor, trainer, author, hotelier, producer, director, production consultant, and church planter. You've planted 2 churches. You're going to tell us about it. Mm-hmm. She's the co-founder and executive director of Fearless Films Limited. Also the founder of Dada Trust, a non-profit organization that supports and celebrates women in the arts. On top of that, she runs the Udada International Women's Film Festival. Mm-hmm. You're also a narrative film and documentary producer with 14 years experience in production and was one of the production managers of the documentary Softy, which premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in January 2020. She was service producer for the Hamburg Media School production Watu Wote, which won Best Narrative at the Student Academy Awards in 2017 and was, please, Oscar nominated for Best Live Action Short Film in 2018. She has produced and directed a virtual reality short film with scientists from Kenya Medical Research Institute, that must be Cambridge.
Yeah.
And recently, this one at least I watched, produced an international short film, Where the River Divides, which has recently been launched and is in theaters now, and they'll share the link with you on how to watch the movie. My goodness, Matrid, how do you do all these things?
Wow, I just had you read that out loud, and I'm like, what?
Hey?
Maybe Matrid has not arrived. I don't think this is the Matrid I know.
This is the Matrid. And an author, I hope I said author because they're going to put a picture of your book up as well. Mm-hmm. You're an author, you're a church planter. I don't even know where to begin. I don't know where to start. Where do you want to start? With Where the River Divides, or where do we start? Because that was amazing. That was really, really amazing.
Thank you.
Maybe we could start with Where the River Divides, mm-hmm. the most recent, I guess, production.
Yeah.
And out of Where the River Divides, you got 2 churches planted. But tell us the story, Matrid.
Yeah, so Angie, it's really amazing and it's such an honor to be here. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
I'm really excited. So, yeah, you watched the film Where the River Divides.
Yes, at the
Fearless Summit.
Fearless Summit,
yes.
2023.
Yes. So we shot Where the River Divides last year. Mm-hmm. And we partnered with 2 companies, mm-hmm. Christian organization companies, that is Christ in Youth, that is CIY in Joplin, USA, mm-hmm. and Good News Production International, mm-hmm. both in the States and also in Joplin and also here in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I got onto the project, the story had already been, they had already done the research because it's based on a true story.
Okay.
I was onboarded in the project as a first assistant director. Mm. And our director MD he really loves God. And I've not worked with someone in my industry like that, like has such a passion for God. And so he was telling one of my friends who was one of the production designers in the film, and he was like, I really need someone who is going to, someone who understands God, also someone who has a relationship with God. And Nancy was like, you know what, I have the perfect person for you. Wow. She's a producer, but she also does AD work. So we got introduced. I read the script, and for me, I'm not going to talk about the film because I would like you guys to watch it, so that I don't preempt what happened. But the beginning and the end of that film, and also what the film was about, really caught, like, is the thing that made me feel, even if I'll have to just serve water in that set, I want to be a part to just tell this beautiful story. And so we started just working like that, working. We had to travel. We shot in Migori because then the film is based in 1979. It's a period piece. So we found this place in Migori. It's a World Heritage Historical Site.
We have a World Heritage Site historical in Migori.
In Migori, yes. In a place, it's called Thimlich Ohinga World Historical Site. And so they have maintained the way the houses looked, the Luo houses looked back in the years and all that. So it's a good thing we didn't have to build the set.
Yes. It was already there.
Yeah, it was already there. But then we had to do a few things here and there. And so we did a trip, first, second, third. And for me, when this project came to me, it was when I was in a very new season, because I had battled a lot with. I knew that God had called me, to I'm also a pastor, so I knew that God had called me, but then I was like, you've still given me this talent, so how am I going to, like, how do I divide myself?
Yeah, because you're in media.
Yes.
But you felt he was calling you as a pastor.
Not really as a pastor, like just to call me to serve. To serve. Yeah, to serve him.
But you didn't know how you're going to balance both of them.
Yes, I didn't know how I was going to balance that, because also when I'm not shooting and I'm not traveling, I used to serve in church. And then when work comes, I'm off. And when I'm off, wherever I am, I don't try to figure out, like, how can I just still serve God? Which church can I, whatever, because then you find, like, Sundays you're resting. So,
so it's very black and white.
Yes. And this turning point for me came about when I had just come from the Oscars, because I went to the Oscars with the film that you said.
Oscars. I went to the Oscars. Hey, we know people.
Those were the 90th Oscars. Yeah. Wow. So I came back and I stayed there for a few weeks, and then I went for prayers. That's the first time I went to Heaven's Gate, because I was really conflicted. I was like, now God, what I know, like, I have this very strong feeling that you've called me, but then what do you need me to do, and how am I going to do this? So I went, for time of prayer, and that's when Fearless Films was born, because God is the one who gave me the name.
Fearless Films.
Yes, Fearless Films.
You can imagine.
Yeah, so I came back, and then again, those things when God is speaking to you, and then sometimes you're like, hey, maybe these are just my own things, So I didn't even register the company, like, immediately. I was just like, God, I need another sign. I was like, Gideon, I need another sign. Give me another sign.
You're like many Christians.
And so fast forward, the moment I got to a point of really surrender. And I was like, so God, I'm totally surrendered to your will. Whatever you want me to do, I will do. If you want me to stop making films and telling stories, and you want me to be in church and serve and whatever, that's exactly what I'll do. But God was very clear. He said, I have called you in the industry, and I've given you the gifts and the talents, and that's how you're going to serve me. Okay. And now that is what Fearless Films is about. So we tell impactful stories, stories about faith, about hope, about love, but stories about really ordinary people and even ordinary Jesus followers. And now when I surrendered, the gift of Where the River Divide came.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's come at this appropriate moment.
Yes.
You just surrendered.
Yes.
Now come and be an associate director on this movie.
Yes. So I was assistant director. And then now while we were just, doing the research and going back and forth, planning for the film and all these things, God was like, you guys need to fast and pray. But me, I'm like, Sasa,
the whole set.
Like, I have to talk to the team to do that. But I'm like, I'm not in that position where I can tell people, so guys, God spoke to me last night
and said we have to fast and pray
for this project. Yes, they are Christians yet, but I'm still struggling because then again, as much you're not really sure. But then the thing that really gave me confidence is just the fact that I knew I was not working for Fearless, I was not working for CIY, I was not working for GNPI, I was working for God. Like, God was my boss. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But then now you have to go ahead of me and like prepare them, because then it's coming from, even in terms of hierarchy. So assistant director is not bad because, he or she comes after the director, but still, like, you can't really go above everyone else and be like, so guys, we need to pray. So I remember the last time So the last time we went to Migori to figure out like where will people sleep and all these things. On our trip coming back, so I did a report, I sent it, and then we had a meeting the following week, and then we did a status meeting, and then I was told to remain in the meeting. Now with this is with the US team. And then they told me, so Matrid, we've been thinking and we want to onboard you as the lead producer for this project.
What?
So that is how
position.
Exactly.
You're about to celebrate. Then you remember, but now there was the prayer and fasting angle.
Immediately I said, I didn't even wait for tomorrow. I said, thank you. I'll still pray on it, but thank you. But in the meantime, maybe we should decide which day of this week we need to take time to pray and fast and just like, dedicate everything, every aspect, every detail of this project. Because then, because of also what the kind of story that we were telling and also the people behind the story and and what really God had put in our hearts to do. And when that was said, it was like, oh wow, yeah. There was like positive. No one was like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah. So as the leader or the lead team now, together with the rest of the team members in the States and here, we did a, you know, and in Mavuno we usually do the morning prayers. So I just use the acts, whatever, put everything, adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and supplication, and then we did 3 days
of prayer and fasting.
Yes.
Wow.
And one of our prayer requests was like we would like to baptize people, like we'd like people to come to Christ. And now that's
as
how
you're making this movie.
Yes. Part of our crew and even maybe the people that we are working with. And so that's how we also now partnered with Mavuno Church.
Yes.
So I called my spiritual dad, Pastor Godwin. Hey, shout out. And so we did a meeting, introduced him to the US team. And so that's how now the prayer team became part of our crew.
So when you go now to Migori,
we went to Migori.
You go with the prayer team.
Yes. So
from church.
Yes.
Wow.
So Pastor Godwin came with 12 pastors.
To pray.
Yeah. So as we are shooting,
them they are praying.
Yes. Them they're going round actually. They're going round.
This is amazing.
Yeah. So
they're going round
in the village.
Round the village.
They even did a crusade.
Yeah. As you're filming.
Yeah, as we're filming. Okay. So we were taking care of the business we were sent to do, but we were also taking care of the main business.
Of God's business.
Yes.
Amazing.
And thank you. And just as a result of that, we had almost 56 people give their lives to Christ.
56.
Yeah. Wow. And that's how they were like, so now you guys, we have
given our lives to Christ.
Even 70-year-old men. They said they had never heard about Jesus the way they had it from the team that was preaching to them. And so they were like, so you guys are going to leave, and then what is going to happen?
Now that you have gotten us saved.
Yeah. But you see, we had not thought that far. And that is how Mavuno Migori
began. Imagine. Yes. And then it's amazing because Mavuno, the movement is now about church planting.
Yes.
So it's like a natural progression. You can't just leave us here now, so let's plant a church.
Yeah.
So you planted a church.
Yeah. And then also, as much as they were doing the prayer, like in the community and stuff like that, we also were doing devotions in the morning, all of us. So for me, my prayer was, I used to wake up at 3 a.m. with my spiritual mom. We just cover everyone because we were in a territory that spiritually there was like spiritual warfare. And we used to be woken up at night by things. So we just wake up, we have to pray. And you can't tell people. So from 3 a.m. you've not slept. And then you're showing up on set in the morning. But no one tells you, oh, you look like you didn't sleep. Somebody's like, you have so much energy. You look so nice. You look so, like vibrant and stuff like that. And that was really the grace of God. So, and also that's where I wrote the book. The book started there, Raising a Prayer Altar in the Marketplace.
She's got a book called Raising a Prayer Altar in the Marketplace.
Yeah.
You were writing it now there, or you were getting downloads as you're doing everything else that you're doing?
The result as a result of me just being an author, it's because I had joined the Fearless Institute class.
Yes.
So in the beginning, for me, I'm like, I love movies, I love documentaries and all these things. So I was like, I want to write, and I'm really passionate about women and I really love celebrating people. So it's like, maybe I'm just going to do like a Guinness Book kind of thing. We'll still have a video and just celebrate different women in media, old, young, upcoming, and then we're just going to have this book even for our generations, that when they come, then they will see that these are the people who pioneered, these are the people who paved the way for us and stuff like that. So that's the book I was supposed to write. It was her lens. It was supposed to be that book.
Her lens, wow. You still write it.
Yeah, and then we continued. So when we were on set, God was like, this is what I want you to write about.
How to set up an altar in the marketplace, because this is what it was.
Yes,
it was a movie set, but it was an altar.
Yeah, because we even we went ahead, we did prayers, we poured anointing oil, like we really, yes, it was very intentional. And let me tell you, the beauty of that, even being on, in filmmaking for 14 years, the experience that we had, I have never had such an experience. And I even speak on behalf of my team. Because when you're shooting, the way things happen, I don't know, the guys behind the camera, at least, they understand. We call them handies. The handies happen there behind the camera, behind the scenes, sorry. But there was so much love. Like we really, when Jesus said love one another, there was so much love. And then we also did this, and maybe this is something even the listeners can do in their spaces of work. And this we were taught by our director, who also, I think, was shooting in Japan, and so the same thing. So he decided he's going to carry it in every project that he does. So we had a trophy, and it had been written where the river divides, and this was an appreciation trophy. So every morning, once we do devotion, we pray, we play games, whatever, we bond. Then now you're the one with the trophy, so you have to appreciate someone. So you start saying, there's this lady, she's passionate about this and this and this and this. I want to give this to Angie. So you stay with it. So you're the one with it the whole day.
Wow.
And then tomorrow you give someone else like that.
Else.
And then we also used to do with the director to just do notes for our crew, appreciation cards. So I just used to, like, today I decide I'm just dealing with the sound guys. So I just go give them. They're like, it is mine. I'm like, yeah, it is yours. Open it, because also it's not something that we are used to. Yeah,
people don't appreciate you.
Yeah,
they appreciate you when you won the Oscar, but as you're even filming and doing, nobody appreciates you.
And that really like held us together. Like we were, you know, when the word of God says, where there's unity, God commands a blessing. He truly blessed us. He did. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. And how long did it take to complete the filming of Where the River Divides?
We did like 8 days.
Okay.
Yeah. But we prepared for almost a year. Yeah.
To do it.
Yeah.
And then there's a church plant. People are born again. You've even covered the ground. There's prayer. There's appreciation. So you come back because that's when the story of the second church started. Now.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, Matrid, how now is the second? So first of all, confirmation, God has called you. So that was amazing. So you come back.
Yeah. So we come back, and you said I'm a hotelier. So I'm a hotelier by association or by marriage, because then my husband, Pastor James, is the one who really is my boss. Hotelier. Yeah, he's the hotelier, and it's a family business. So it's a villa resort. It's 99 kilometers from Nairobi, so it's in Sagana. Yeah, and I had gone to Uganda last year for Transform Conference, and while we were there, Pastor B3 was talking about building winning teams, and for me that session just blew my mind. And immediately after that session, we had a break. I just sent my husband voice that was like, dude, we have to change the way we are running our business, so that we can build winning teams and we can really invite God into that space and make him the center of the space. So when I came back, in Havila, that time we had about 30-something staff members. So we started doing morning devotions. So we meet in the morning, very early, like at 6. We meet, we pray, we read the word, like that. For me, I was like, I'm not a pastor. I'm just like, we're just doing devotion.
You're just facilitating.
Yeah, even when I knew that God had called me, there was nothing at you, you shall be a pastor. That was not. So I just knew I've been called in the industry. So I know I'm just serving God in the industry and in every space that he has allowed me to be in. And so we started doing devotions in the morning, and then in the evening, we'd also do devotions in the evening. And then on Sunday, we would do, like, if we were doing 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we'd do like 12 minutes. But it's not really, it's preaching in a way, but it wasn't, according to me, it wasn't really preaching. Because then everyone,
time.
Exactly. And then now we started also encouraging now the head of departments. Now tomorrow, you're the one who will lead. You're the one who get a word and everything. And surprisingly, our business really changed.
Wow.
Yeah.
The people changed?
Yes, the people changed. Even and we used to even have like in the evening, it's like we're debriefing, what was your highlight for today, what happens, and some of the testimonies that were coming from them are, like for a long time I've not really experienced joy.
What?
So when a client comes, like I don't have so much joy. Yes, I'm serving because I'm in, but today and we're usually busy over the weekends. So, and that day people were really tired because it was a really busy, it had been a really good busy weekend. And so someone is like, I have been up since morning, I have served, I have gone, and the property is big, so I've gone down, I've come up, but I had so much joy in my heart. I had so much joy. Someone says, the joy of the Lord is actually my strength. So when now those things started to happen, for me, we just report to our father, Pastor Godwin. So it's like, hey, Pastor, so this is what we are doing here. This is what is happening, blah, blah, blah. And then fast forward to October, before, like when we're just about to graduate, I think it was in October or November, when we were just about to graduate, in December, sorry. Pastor Godwin called us. As we're just minding our own business for the Fearless Institute.
Okay.
We're just doing our own stuff with JMO in the house, and then I get a call. And then Pastor Godi says, "Are you with James?" I said, "Yeah, we are here. Let me put you on loudspeaker." And then he says, "So we've been, Pastor Muredi has been talking, and we've been talking, and with the kind of work that you guys are even doing in Havila, so we'll commission you guys to plant a church."
In Havila?
Yes.
And you've already started?
We had started, yes, but now you see, now that's a whole other ball game.
My
husband went mute, like, was it Zakaria? Like, he didn't speak. It was just like, what? Even Pastor Gordon was like, "Hello, Jemo, are you there?" He just went silent. So we hung up, and then we just looked at each other, and then we said, "Hey." Then we're like, "Anyway, see, they will bring a pastor. So we will figure it. Yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there."
There's no pastor which is being brought. You are the pastors.
We didn't
Did
know.
you just say, we shall commission you, or we just say we will commission you to start a church?
Yeah, but you see, we are like, our space is here, and our parents also. Our parents were very, like, just, again, we had already started the devotions. They started even being part of that. Actually, our mom is our prayer warrior, like in Havila.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, she's our prayer
well
warrior.
Done, Mom. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And even our dad was like, "Yeah, I can give you land, I can give you whatever you guys, if you want.
The church now even can be built.
Yeah, he was even making jokes. He's like, "I'm going to be the treasurer though." Yeah, so
oh wow.
January this year. So we planted Mavuno Migori September last year.
Wow.
And then we planted Mavuno Sagana this year. And it's the only actually Mavuno church that is in a resort.
Wow.
So we cater to our people, because during the weekends is when we are really busy. So these guys can't leave the job and go to church.
Do church, yeah.
Exactly. And then also we have many churches in Sagana, but most of them are preaching Kikuyu, and then we also have so many people who have come from different parts of the country living in Sagana. So someone says, because Pastor Godwin came with some pastors from Lifeway, and we did evangelism.
So you went door to door?
Yeah, we went door to door.
Yeah,
so we have a center. We have a center called Randera, but we call it Rendes. We don't even, if we are from Ushago, we call it Rendes. So so that center, we decided, okay, we're going to go and just pray for people. We have a police station there. What? So we went to the police. They were excited. They were like, "Oh, the church that will actually not be preaching in, you'll preach in English, okay, Swahili, me, I'll come." So we even experienced some people who actually born again, but then they're like, "For me, there is no church here to go to." So now guys started telling us, this was in December, they're like, "Okay, so can we start the church before Christmas?" As we are thinking, Mavuno, they will send which pastor to come before? Because again, it had still really not registered, As we're like, yeah, we've offered the place. We will support the person who will be sent, and what like that, yeah. So that's how it started. So we're still planning. We're going to plant a church in Sagana now for other people. But now what we've done, what we've been doing is we also invite, like, the church is not just for people in Havila. So the people even from outside come. Our guests, like our dad is such an invitational.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
So he invites the guests even who are
when they've come, they've checked in, they're sleeping there. Yeah, it's like, don't worry, don't be in a hurry to leave because you want to go to Nairobi to church. We have a church here.
We have a church here.
You're sorted.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah. So you remember in January we do the 21 days of fasting. Yes. So when we were still living in Nairobi, so even when that's why it had not really clicked that we are going to be the pastors, because we were still living in Nairobi and we're still trying to figure out how do we move. And I had just gotten married. It was not even 5 months.
Really?
Yeah. So all these things, planting church, getting married, blah blah, all these things happened in the same. Wow. Like last year was like a really big year. So we were newlyweds. So then you're like, now you guys are going to be pastors. Like, we're still figuring out, we're still dating in the marriage.
Yes, we're still figuring out us and
still figuring
how
out
this marriage is going to be and what we need to do.
And then now we're here, we're being sent, but we were obedient. Yeah. So we, by that time, because we used to spend a lot of time at work in Havila, so we used to stay in one of the hotels, in one of the rooms there as we work. And then when we need to take a break, we come back to Nairobi. So in January, God answered our prayers. He showed us a really beautiful house, which we made a home, so that's where we stay. And then while we were fasting, God was like, you'll start service tomorrow. I said, So for me, it's just like, maybe we just read the Bible. And then the that nudge was very like
heavy.
Yeah, but I just kept breathing in, breathing out. I'm like, hey God, so you mean I'm going to preach to these people? So what am I going to say? So number one, again, I have not preached. I don't have like the background. Yes, we were commissioned, but then also we wait to see like what's going to happen and stuff like that. So I listened to Pastor M's sermon on finances. Yeah? Vaccinate your money. And I said, okay, then that's what I'm going to teach people. So I listened word for word.
Word for word.
I wrote down. Even at least now, because I know the people in Havila, so the examples, I used now examples that were very relatable to us. And we did our first service. So when we were doing our first service, my husband is the one who was service hosting. So and then of course the people now in the service team, the people in the hotel, they organize, they put the tents and the chairs and then the cocktail table in red, that's like our pulpit. So they bring stuff there. And then Pastor Jemo says, hi, good morning, church. Our parents are there, they're sitting at the front.
Oh, wow.
I'd like to welcome Pastor Matrid to come and give us a word. Now, before he welcomes me to share the word, I was the worship team leader.
I love when you plant churches. You're everything.
Yeah, you're everything.
You have to be everything. You take the offering, you're the usher, you're the worship leader.
You count the money.
You count the money. You do everything. This is how you start a church.
So I was the worship leader, and my mom, our mom now was the assistant.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then she prays. And then now Pastor Jemo comes and says, let's appreciate the worship team. There's the two of us. And then we come back, and then now let us stand up. We need to honor the woman of God.
Oh,
and then
goodness.
I preached. Hey, it was my first day. I even told guys, I'm nervous, but we're going to do this. We've started the church. So the service initially was just supposed to be 1 hour, 11 to 12. And then I preached, my dear, I preached. The service, it was 1.5, 1:45 minutes. I am still vaccinating.
I love it. I cannot believe
it.
And
then now goodness. Again, I finished. Then now Pastor Jemo comes back. Oh, let us give thanks. What? Oh, it's time to give. Oh, we are giving. And then now my mom tells us, you guys, you're like Pastor Jemo, you're forgetting to pray for the pastor. So let's pray for her. You know, when someone has like preached and what?
Yes.
Hey, I'm telling you, that day, it was very interesting. But then God was in the whole business. So I called Pastor Godi. I said, hey, Pastor, we preached. So we started church. So we took pictures. We sent pictures. And that's how Mavuno Church started. So now I started learning. You know, because then again, as a movement, I think one thing I really like about our movement, Mavuno movement, is even if I miss church in Sagana on Sunday, and I know we are doing the White Flags, the Genius of Surrender series, when I come to Nairobi or when I come to your church, I won't miss, because it'll be like, yeah, you know what we did last time, so we're picking it up. Because I remember Pastor Godi was saying, Pastor M was like, you know, you can't now wake up and be like, hey, the way I'm looking at my people, these people, they are not doing well in relationships. I'm going to preach I'm going to do a relationship series. So I just like the fact that we're truly a family, even from the way word gets out across all the churches.
All campuses,
And they really held us. They supported us. Of course, there were teething problems here and there. And then now, it is now understanding this marketplace, pastoring in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, you know, you're forgetting, then you're like, we have church tomorrow. Oh my God. And then now we started encouraging our people to start serving. You guys, the ladies, you can sing, you can do what. So we rehearse maybe on a Saturday, like these are the songs we're going to do. And then we never used to do this, the now songs. You know, when in January we used to do those, you know, those songs for Sundays, like those songs
from behind.
From those days. Now those were like the praise songs. We do those ones. We do the worship. So we rehearse with the team, and then on Sunday we have guests coming like this. So they have to serve. So now I end up leading the worship. Yeah.
Because they have to go and serve
Because they have to go and serve the people. So it's been quite a very interesting dynamic. But right now where we are, We also now have support. It's not just Pastor James and myself. We have Pastor Steve. And I also just want to appreciate him because we've gone to transform, we've traveled, you know, we've been able to do these other things, and he has come in, and the church continues, and he's doing a really, really good job.
Amazing.
Because also now what we are doing, you know, now we're in discipleship making, starting up DGs and stuff like that. So we have so many industries in Sagana. So what we do is Pastor Steve now goes, like he just went, like, I'm Pastor Steve, I serve under Pastor Matrid and Pastor Jemo. We are from Mavuno, blah, blah, blah. This is who we are. This is what we do. Yeah. We would like to just be coming here and just be sharing the word of God with you. Yeah. So he has knocked a couple of doors, and so far we have like 2 people that he has. So we have midweek services. And also before Pastor Steve came, there was a football team.
What?
In rain days. So I'm a people's person. For me, I really like, and also being a filmmaker, Rain Days is a really beautiful location to come and shoot a film. So I was just telling my husband, let's just take a walk. Maybe there are locations, there are what. Then we saw people playing football. Then tried to figure out like who knows them, because there was where we used to live now, the guy was managing. I asked about this. There's a team that plays. He introduced us. So we started doing meeting on every Friday. So whatever I preach on Sunday, I preach to them on Friday.
To the football people?
Yeah, to the football people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then there's also, he's also like our father. His name is Mr. Cairo, Patrick Cairo. So he also has a very beautiful space. His space is called Rain Days Valley. So he has Airbnb, container homes, tiny homes. That's what I'm saying. You should come and just see the amazing, beautiful stuff we're doing there. Wow. So now, when we got introduced, we discovered him and his wife have lived in Kampala for a really long time, and they were planters of Mavuno Kampala. So it was like, Yanni Mavuno is just following us. So what are we going to do? And he's an architect. So what do we do? How can we help? What can we? So even him, when he gets visitors, he tells them we have Mavuno Church in her villa, because it's like 5 minutes or 3 minutes away. Yeah. So we're really growing. We've been growing as a family. Yeah.
And I love that God, he actually came to pass, you know. When you went to Heaven's Gate to pray, God was saying, I'm calling you, but I've also given you these gifts of media. I think that's what I love about your story, that you've created Oscar-nominated movies, you're doing Where the River Divides, but you're still planting churches, you're changing lives, you're transforming, your obedience. This happened in not even the first year of marriage, my goodness, like the first 3-5 months of marriage. So I'm just really grateful that you've allowed God, you know, you just said, you help me. I'll say yes, and let's see what happens. So I can't wait to see, you know, how this story is going to turn out. But we're definitely going to invite you again. We definitely want to watch the movie. I really loved it. I love the quality.
Thank you.
I hope it gets onto amazing platforms as well.
Yeah, it will. And that's just the first episode, because we are planning to do a series called Kingdom Come of different stories. So I know that we're going to plant Mavuno, Denmark, wherever we will go to tell these stories.
Church.
Yeah, because we decided this is what we're going to do. You see, we had the prayer team. So for me now, even as a producer, my prayer team is not coming like, na watu wa prayers hatujawaeka kwa list. No, they are part of the crew. The way you need to have a producer, you need to have a director, you need to have all these people. We have the prayer team. So in our business, our prayer team is part of the crew. And so they deserve the respect that everyone else is getting, because they're there, they're really covering us spiritually, you know. So we decided, if God says now the next story, for example, is in Denmark, we go to Denmark. So we'll pick, depending with our budget also, but again, God is going to provide. So we pick like 3 prayer team people here. We go, they teach. Now it's like we're discipling.
You're discipling.
Prayer teams.
We are reproducing ourselves. Because we'll teach them how to disciple.
Exactly.
They'll go to the surrounding village.
Yes.
Get the
then
people.
They do that. Raise
saved,
people.
Then we plant a church.
Yeah, and I also forgot to say, when we went back to launch the film in Migori, 50 more people gave their lives to Christ.
So now you had 106.
Yeah. So we baptized a few people. The
Wow.
church
In the
there has
river.
grown. Yes. And I really also just want to appreciate
Amazing.
Pastor Clint. You know, he has done such an amazing job, and he has true followers.
Because they also did Mizizi. I was amazed. I saw a picture of them doing Mizizi. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, we
this
also
thing is
launched
really
Mizizi
growing.
in Sagana. So everyone,
Amazing.
we've divided our what can I call them? Like, so we have the reception and whatever. We have maintenance, we have service. So now those are our DGs in Havila.
Imagine inside within.
Yeah, inside within.
Absolutely
So Pastor Jemo
amazing.
has his team, Pastor Steve has his team, and then I have my team.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's something else I'd like to say. Because this happened recently. So we went to the Transform conference
In Kampala.
and we screened the film. And last year when I was there, I remember just speaking things into existence. And I want to share this to someone there to just encourage people that whenever God gives something to you, just speak it out.
Speak it
into existence. So that when it happens, even the people who are around you, they will really be witnesses. So I remember I said, I will speak next year, I will speak on that stage. Then now my Ugandan pastor friend, Brenda, she was telling me, you also said next year you will win the award. Because I was the winner of the ACT award for doing, for transforming my community through the work that God is allowing me to do.
Amen.
So, and for me, I cannot really compare that feeling of the winning with going to the Oscars. I'm not trying to water down the Oscars.
But it was not the same.
It was not the same.
This one of transforming community was more impactful to you.
It was more impactful because it was completely God's doing, and there was honor.
Yeah.
And God was glorified in every bit. In the Oscars, God is being glorified in your room. You just walk there and then you just go and say, God, thank you so much. This has been amazing. And that's the beauty of really allowing God to lead you, allowing God to be the center of everything, allowing God to actually just be your boss. And then you just, as you're taking care of his business, he's also taking care of your business. Yeah.
That's amazing, because the last year is when you had God calling you, went in, confirmed, did all that you need to do, and then now this year you go back and now you're on the platform and your movie is premiering, it's being premiered and shown at the same conference. That's very powerful, Matrid. I can't wait to see what God will do with you and all the different nations that He's going to take you to. To do movies and to plant churches and to build discipleship and community. Absolutely amazing. Yet doing what you love to do every day.
I think that's really beautiful. Yeah, that's why I wake up. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, God, what are we doing today? Before I figure out, I have my list, I'm like, but it's not like an easy journey,
No.
People shouldn't be mistaken. It's not easy. Sometimes I have those moments where I'm just like, oh my God, I'm tired. I need to rest from this work that God has really called me to be. Because you realize it's not really a Sunday thing.
It's an everyday thing.
Just like Apmo says, church begins on Monday. Sunday is just garage day. So it's not really a Sunday thing. It's an everyday thing because you're in the marketplace. So you are constantly making disciples. You're constantly, you just find yourself in conversations. You're preaching and then someone's like, oh, that was my word and what. So by the time you get home, you're drained and all these things. But we're still doing this. We are not planning to quit.
Amen.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you for coming to Just Angie. And I'm sure we're going to have you back again because there's so many things that we didn't talk about that we'll need to talk about. But I think we've gotten the idea of what you're doing. And I hope somebody out there, create a prayer altar in the marketplace. Make your marketplace ministry mean something, your marketplace assignment and purpose, and get people born again and saved. Because I can imagine the 70-year-olds who said, we've never had God preach like this and who gave their lives to Christ. That's transformation. That's absolutely amazing in the heart of God.
Thank you.
Yeah. God
Thank
bless
you
you
so
guys.
much.
I hope you've enjoyed this. So we'll give you where you can watch the movie.
Watch the movie and also order for the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.